The elephant shrew spends 2 full hours every day clearing debris from its trails. For this little guy, tidying up isn't a chore, it's a survival mission. Across a territory the size of a football field, it maintains a complex highway system, a vital network that keeps it alive. In a trail network just a few hundred meters long, there are over 40 different intersections. It's got everything: high-speed straights, hairpin turns, T-junctions, and even secret tunnels. Don't let its size fool you. The Elephant Shrew is built for blistering, raw speed. At full throttle, it can clock in at nearly 30 kilometers per hour. That might not sound like a lot, but pound for pound, no other creature on Earth can outrun this tiny sprinter. To find snacks and dodge predators, keeping these highways clear is the most critical part of its existence. In the world of the Elephant Shrew, road maintenance is the top priority. Of course, unexpected guests do wander onto the track like this sluggish snail. The Elephant Shrew isn't exactly a patient host. Living life in the fast lane requires a massive amount of fuel. Insects are its high-protein fuel of choice. It might look like a common rodent, but surprisingly, this little creature shares a common ancestor with the African elephant. Just like its giant cousins, it sports a highly flexible snout that can twitch in every direction. That nimble trunk is a precision tool, perfect for snuffling out hidden insects in the thick undergrowth. With a full belly, it's finally time for a pit stop. Without a permanent burrow, the Elephant Shrew spends its entire life on the move even when it's catching some Z's. It usually picks a quiet tunnel to nap in, staying tucked away from prying eyes. Even in deep sleep, its eyes stay half open, ready to detect danger and bolt at a moment's notice. The savanna's monitor lizard is one of its most persistent threats. But against a master of speed, the lizard's chances aren't just slim, they're practically zero. 5 meters per second might sound modest, but relative to its size, that's like a human driving at 800 kilometers an hour. It's so fast that one sharp turn is usually enough to leave a confused lizard in the dust. This is precisely why the shrew builds so many intersections. It's all about losing the tail. Disoriented and outpaced, the lizard eventually gives up the hunt. The shrew doesn't celebrate for long, it's right back to sweeping its tracks. Just then, a tortoise decides to pull a slow-motion jaywalk right across the main road. Worse still, overgrown weeds have completely blocked a major thoroughfare. After a quick assessment, the tiny engineer decides it's time for some serious road work. An hour of intense labor later, the route is finally reopened for business. These paths are its lifeline, and it will do whatever it takes to keep them in mint condition. A few days later, a flock of weaver birds drops by for a visit. They share a brief moment of peace before the travelers move on. The family grows. A pair of twin elephant shrew pups has arrived. At just 24 hours old, these tiny pups are already remarkably well developed. Right now, they're only a quarter of their mother's size. Once they've fed, the pups scramble onto their mother's back. By hitching a ride, they leave their scent on her, making sure mom never forgets who they are. Within a month, they're fully grown and ready to strike out on their own. The young wanderers might try to squat in another shrew's territory, but a homeowner won't give up their property without a fight. After a brief scuffle, the intruder is sent packing. But fortune smiles on the youngster. It finds a neglected, abandoned estate. Immediately, the young shrew pours all its energy into restoring the old road network. It's a daunting task, but a good home is worth the elbow grease. After all, this is where the rest of its story will unfold. The shrew prefers the dry season. Life is simpler and far more predictable when things are bone dry. But a sudden, torrential downpour is about to turn its orderly world into a muddy mess. Once the storm passes, the sun returns and the shrew gets straight back to business. But today, the to-do list is looking exceptionally long. Fortunately, most of the debris is manageable for a solo worker. Then, a real elephant wanders through and its massive footprint brings the highway to a standstill. A colossal pile of dung drops from the sky, landing right on the main road. This unintentional roadblock from a distant cousin has completely paralyzed the network. Luckily, the savanna's cleanup crew, the dung beetles, is already on the way. The beetles work at a frantic pace, dismantling the obstruction piece by piece. They roll the mess into perfect spheres and haul them off, clearing the path for the shrew. The rains bring chaos, but they also trigger a massive explosion of insect life. With such a high-octane metabolism, an elephant shrew is always just a few hours away from starvation. 3 months fly by, and the great migration of the savanna begins once more. For a moment, it seems the shrew might finally get some peace. But danger is looming. A wildfire is racing across the plains, heading straight for its home. The shrew hesitates, paralyzed by a threat it has never seen before. Against the wall of flames, its only hope is the speed and familiarity of its own highways. 2 hours later, the fire moves on, leaving behind a scorched landscape of ash. Incredibly, the little survivor has made it through. Its world has been burnt to the ground, but where there is life, there is a chance for a new beginning. The little engineer is already twitching its nose, eager to start rebuilding from the ground up. For the rest of its days, it will continue to walk these paths, the roads that are its home and its legacy.